The greatest gift that you can give to the world is your happiest, healthiest, most whole, functional, playful, passionate, purposeful self, or any of the above. And here's why. We're wired for each other. We're wired for interdependence. Humans evolved to coexist, to work together. In fact, that's why we evolved so incredibly fast, is we can communicate and connect and work together in ways that other species can't quite do without the magical imagination that is the human mind. And deeply embedded in our wiring is a survival mechanism to stay with the group, to stay in alignment with whatever the status quo may be, so that we don't get kicked out, so that we don't get ostracized, because in the early days, that meant that your ass would get eaten by a lion on the plains. I don't know if that nature analogy holds true, or if there were lions on the plains. There were definitely lions on the plains, and your ass would get eaten by one if you did something that the group didn't like. So here's where we land. In a culture that is based in productivity and capitalism, and I'm not anti-capitalism by any means, but I think the way that we have unconsciously related to capitalism through our survival mechanisms is keeping a lot of us, perhaps you, very stuck in a miserable way of relating to life and yourselves, producing, chasing something outside of yourselves. What are you trying to get? You're trying to get what's been promised to you by previous generations to be the thing that will keep you safe and feeling significant and happy. Happiness has been promised in job security, in income, in titles, in marriages, in vacations. But if you really touch into it, and I know so many of us land here today, if you're working 40 hours a week, 60 hours a week, 80 hours a week as a means to an end to reach said safety and stay in the group and stay in the status quo, you're dying on the inside. So many of us are dying on the inside. And it's so sad to stay stuck there. I know that. And it's so painfully difficult to break free from that because of the deeply embedded way that we are wired. And there's a beauty in it. There's a generosity. There's a care and a connection for each other. Well, I don't want to go and be an outlier or do something different, because, how would that affect other people? And y'all know the chatter of your friends and your family who say this and that about your passions or what really lights you up. It affects us. What I want to invite is a shift in the energy from which that choice to relate to each other drives our choices. I want to flip the energy of that from fear and survival to love and generosity. So I want you to imagine someone who is truly healthy and happy and in their joy and pursuing their shit, and maybe you see them every so often, they're like, yeah, I'm doing this, and you're like, man, why the fuck are you so happy? And they're like, because I'm living my best life and it's fucking awesome, and I'm in therapy and I'm getting coached and I'm doing things that I love. And it's infectious. Maybe some of us, depending on how we relate to it, it can kind of poke us a little bit. Like, I don't like that. There's like, how could you be doing so well? I'm doing so fucking miserable. Stop being a victim and settle into and connect with the infectiousness of the gift of authenticity. When someone is really living their best life and prioritizing their own health and happiness, and perhaps living purposefully, living playfully, it's infectious. It offers permission for us to relax our shoulders, to be ourselves, to be present with what is, to enjoy this playground that is life, this gift that is life a little bit more easily. There's a reference point. And the point here is that when people are healthy and prioritizing themselves and their own healing, they have a positive impact on the world around them, even just by being themselves. As simple as that. And then you stack on what I think to be true. I heard this verse from Joe Dispenza, is like, when your cup is full, there is nothing to do but to turn towards and share that cup, the overflow of that cup, with the people around you, with the world around you. And it's damn true. When you find happiness, because happiness is an inside job. When you prioritize and start to find and cultivate that within you, you find so much fucking joy in giving back to the world, of making the lives of other people better. And you can do that, again, it happens just organically by being yourself, but then there's also a constructive nature to it. What do I get to create and go out and give back? So there's a generosity that comes with being generous to ourselves. And this is where our culture of productivity, of I need to show up for my boss and for my company and for my work and to make money so that I can be successful in the eyes of other people, is hooked on a relationship of connectivity from a fear mindset. And there's no shame about this, because this is deeply embedded in our wiring. And it doesn't matter if it's capitalism and productivity culture, we're all going to our brains functioning and wiring stick with the status quo until we wake up to the ramifications of doing so for a lifetime. And I know a lot of us are feeling the ramifications of staying in this positioning and continuing to wallow on the inside and yet feel powerless to change what's happening. And my invitation here is to remind you that it's actually a fucking gift. It's actually the most selfless thing that you can do to prioritize yourself, to put down the seeking and the chasing, the producing what's out there, to stay with the group, to turn towards yourself, heal, go to therapy, get a coach, take a sabbatical, go on a spiritual vacation, get the fuck out of your job, face the unknown, pursue things that light you up, create, whatever it is. There's so many different ways that you can embody this. We're not getting super practical here. I want to stay philosophical. That is the greatest fucking thing that you can do for the group. So instead of abiding unconsciously by the status quo for the group, break free from that reactivity, reptilian brain driven way of approaching life that's killing you and it's killing us by robbing each other of our best selves, by robbing each other of the infectious joy that each of us has within ourselves, of the authenticity and the gifts that come with turning towards and taking care of ourselves as our primary responsibility. So I invite you, if you're feeling stuck, and I know that comes from this seeking of social validation, I want to make sure that I'm a good member of society. There's a new society that's arriving and arising here, and I invite you to be a part of it. And it's one that's deeply rooted in self-love, and the pathway to supporting society and contributing to the greater good is through your own inner well-being. So embrace that, turn towards that. This is your permission to prioritize that. The greatest gift I ever fucking gave myself was to take a year and a half off just from pursuing anything. I had all these dreams I wanted to do. I kept doing, I kept hitting ceilings and burning out and burning out and burning out. And I'm just like, I'm no good. I'm no fucking good unless I take care of myself. And giving yourself radical fucking permission to just heal and do what you need to do to take care of yourself, not to build, not to fucking find security in financial independence or to secure the partner that you're going to marry. Like, all of it is so unsubstantial when it comes to what's happening within you and how you are either limited or expanded by the self-love that you cultivate within yourself and the passion that you allow yourself to enjoy and pursue and build and create and share. You're not stealing anything from anybody to step away from what our culture says is the way to go. And we get to create a new culture by braving the discomfort of what has been established and deciding for ourselves. And this is why I invite this and I paint this picture for you to help move you forward over the humps, the fears that we all fear of, like, oh, not the lions again. I'm going to get eaten. No, you're not going to get eaten. You're going to be okay. In fact, you're going to venture out onto the plains, and you know what's actually out there on the plains? It's not a lion. There's another group of people who realize the same thing, and they're fucking awesome. And they want to dance and play and create with you and connect with you. And you're going to find the true community, the true world that you get to live in. But you have to break free. You get to break free from what you're stuck in right now. I invite you to join us. We need you. We love you. We want you. Please join us. You don't need to make any more money for the sake of filling that void within yourself. Go give yourself what you need to fill that void in yourself and more. Fill your fucking cup up. Let it flow. Let it overflow. And share it with us. I love you. I love you. I love you. May you love you. And have a beautiful now.